On Saturday, the 22nd of August, I decided to take part in the Kenney Game Jam. The Kenney Game Jam is a game jam hosted on itch.io by the user Kenney. If you don't know who Kenney is, Kenney creates free public domain assets for game creation, ranging from 2D to 3D and even sound. The Kenney Game Jam is a game jam which takes part over 2 days, 48 hours, in which you are only able to use Kenney's created assets. These can be any of the assets that Kenney has created, and it just gives a fun dynamic to the game jam, not having to worry about art, mainly just focused on the games that you can create with this restriction. There's a limited selection of art, of course, and if you want the art to fit various themes that he has, they kind of will vary a lot. You need to maybe chop some of the different art packs together. The theme of the jam is about to be released, and let's go take a look. Alright, the theme of the jam is starts in. Oh. Well, that's a very weird theme. Guess we're having technical difficulties, and I'll see you in a minute when the theme is actually released. Alright, well I've just been informed that the theme of the jam is going to be cursed. It's quite an interesting theme. I'm sure there's a lot that we can do with this. Let's jump right into it. So it's only been about 20 minutes, but I think I have a rough idea of something that I might start with. Using this asset pack here from Kenney, it's like a platformer, one color asset pack. We are allowed to edit them ever so slightly. Like I can't edit any of this art, but I can change the kind of visual effect that it will have in post-processing and such. And I was thinking I could change the colors. So I have these four guys. All of them will be the player. You see, they all have different horns. And if I come over here, the player's curse per se will be just playing around on a platformer. And if he jumps, leaving the pink terrain, he'll have some way that he can change, and he'll have to change before hitting the blue terrain. Otherwise, he'll die. And then when he's on the blue terrain, he's restricted to only being able to move on the blue terrain. And when he's on the pink terrain, he can only move on the pink terrain. And that's my idea. Maybe there's like buttons that he can press to swap colors, and like little white areas where he can walk on whenever he's any color. So that's my rough idea for now. I think I'm gonna open up Unity and start working on it. All right. So I've just finished importing the tile map into Unity, and I can now paste tiles in as I please. Little guy here. This is going to be our player sprite. Next step is I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to import in some player controls and give him his little running animations. Let's do that. And this is where we met our first bug. The player randomly, when walking, just decides to do a little flip. So obviously we don't want that to happen. It's quite obvious why it happens though. If you have a look at the tile map that we have working for the game, you see that whenever the player is about to walk over one of the collision boxes in the tile map collider, he does a little bounce. Nice. Luckily, after a bit of research online, it turns out by just using an edge glider 2D instead of a box glider, we can resolve the issue. And now our little horned guy just wanders around freely on top of the box. Nice. At this point, some more time has passed, and we now have player movement along with jumping and some basic animations. I've also set up the animations for all three of the different sprite types, and I'm now going to set up a way to change their colors. That's the plan. See you when that's like that. We've just hit the 4 hour mark, and the player now changes color depending on what type of ground he's standing on. This will change. This will change later on to work more mechanically with the game, but for now, just for testing purposes, yeah. After finishing my main testing, I've now decided to already rework the way that the color change happens. You no longer change color by walking onto the certain tiles. I've now implemented these little gems, and if you touch one of these gems, it will change you to that color. So if I touch the green one, I turn green, and if I touch red, I turn red. The next step is going to be to add a follow camera, and I'm going to make it so whenever like the red guy touches the blue, he dies. So we can start getting some of the main mechanics in, and then start working on some level designs. And then I'm probably going to go have dinner, because it is getting quite late. It is currently 10:30, and I've just gotten the core mechanics that I want to do for now done. So let's take a look. So, if I'm to run this, we have a little spawn point set up. And the full screen for us. There we go. If the player was to walk onto the blue terrain, he would die and respawn. And if he was to touch the green gem before touching the green platform, he'll turn green and be able to survive. But and same with the blue platform. Oh shite. And dies. Now I have to jump over the blue platform to get to the there we go and turn blue before I hit the ground, and you manage to survive on the blue platform. But if you touch the green platform, you die. Obviously, I'm going to make it so the gems respawn. But now you can only stand on your type of color. Success. And we've got the camera following. But we are now missing a really important part of most game creation, and that is the game feel. There's no sounds, there's no nice animations or effects or anything like that. So I think that my focus now will be on just the general game feel and try to make it a fun and interesting experience. It is now just gone midnight, a little bit past, and I have finished off a little bit of the game feel. I think enough for now anyway. So let's swap over and I'll show you. So we have multiple checkpoints. I don't know if they were there last time. And the player now has this little trail. It starts white, but if I pick up the red gem, he's got a little red trail that follows him whenever he's running around. And if he changes into a green, he's got a little green trail, and he'll even respawn with his trail. And there's now also sound effects, which you cannot hear, and now you can. Now, well, I'll let you hear the gem one as well. There we go. So at this point, it's getting quite late, and I have some other stuff to do. So I think I'm going to go to bed now, and then we're going to pick this up tomorrow. I'm going to start working on the maps and starting to polish and finish this game up. I haven't been working on it for too long yet. I've still got ages left in the jam, but feeling pretty confident. It's going well. No massive hiccups yet. Yet. Good morning. It is now the next day. Just showered, got some sleep, nice and refreshed, all ready to go. I sent off the game to some friends last night so they could playtest it for me. And they reported back to me that my jumping mechanic is far too hard. I originally wanted to make it quite difficult so you wouldn't be able to have any control over your jump when you're in the air. Um, but in a platformer game where the floor can kill you, it turns out that's a little too hard. So I'm gonna have to rework that a little bit, and that's what I'm gonna start with today to give the player some more control in midair, so they can stop and slightly turn maybe. And I'm probably also gonna add a jump height depending on how long you hold the button for. That's the plan. Um, and then later on today, we'll get some level designs going and start concepting some more mechanics that we can implement into the game. I've just finished reworking the movement system. So if we swap over to Unity, and I'll give you a look, the player can now control their jump whilst in midair, give them a lot more control of the character, and also depending on how long they hold the spacebar for, determines how high they jump. These decorations here in the blue area are on the wrong terrain. That doesn't really matter. It now makes the game a lot more playable, a lot easier to control, not a massive headache, but with still enough challenge curve that we could probably add some interesting platforming mechanics into it. So I've just spent a little bit of time creating this little tutorial level, telling the player to jump and telling him about his curse and how he can't stand on colors that he isn't. And there's gems that he can collect to change color and little checkpoints. So I think that now I'm going to start creating the actual levels over here. Also, you die if you fall off the map. Now, this is the level creation process. You can see me grabbing the art assets from the right-hand side of the screen, from the tile sheet tile map, and bringing it into 3 different grid layouts in Unity. I have red, blue, and green grids, and all of these have their own collisions on them, and that's how I work out what the player is currently colliding with, and to handle death responsibly. Um, I'd also like to take this moment just to say that if you are enjoying the video, if you could like share or like, because I'm going to create more videos like this in the future, and hopefully I'm going to get better at it. So if you want to leave a subscription here, that'll be great. All right, back onto the video. Whilst I was designing the levels, or just a little bit of mapping just then, I was looking into the resource pack, and we'll just move over to it, the Kenney Valley asset pack, sorry. I've realized we've got like these springs and loads of different things that we could use as platforms, like these little arches here. So I think I actually want to program a little bit more mechanics to make my level creation a bit more enjoyable. We could have some platforms that you can jump up from below, and some spring like jump pads so you can jump higher, and maybe these fans here will like blow you to the side. So I think I'm going to start working on some of these. I'll probably start with the spring and the platforms and see where we go from there. So I've been messing around for a little while, and I managed to set myself up a little painting brush so I can paint these platforms. And I got this little spring that will allow me to bounce. Whenever I jump on it, it just springs me up, and I can land on these platforms. So for a quick little update to show you what we've got so far, we've got this initial area here that just tells the player how the game works. And then later on, we introduce here in this green area, we introduce the springs. I'm going to add a little on-screen thing there as well. And then after that, we go down these little arrow directed paths, and you get to this area where I've set up a forceful switch to red, otherwise you can't go progress. And then you have to jump on these red springs, avoiding the blue platforms and the blue pipes to get to this point. Just about to take a little break. Make sure, whenever you're doing game jams that you get ample food and breaks here and there. I'm just transferring the files over to. Oh, well, that's the wrong scene. You can trust me, I have WeTransfer open at the moment, and I'm just sending it to a friend now so he can playtest whilst I'm out. So I'll catch you in a little bit. Alright, I am back, and I got some feedback. Mainly, just I had a few typos here and there, but also apparently if you press spacebar or W really quickly, twice, you can double jump. Ah, you can. So need to fix that. Shouldn't be too hard though. So I'll work on that. I can either shorten the raycast that I'm using to get the distance away from the ground, or just add a delay on your jump. We have just now hit the halfway point for the jam, and progress is going a lot faster than I expected. So I've inputted some more mechanics. We now have this little moving platform-esque thing that will take the player left or right, depending on what's going. It's just lerping from 2 points that you can specify in the inspector. And I also have this nice death animation and some other little things. All just kind of general polish at the moment, though. Yep. So I've added a little bit more to the level using those moving platforms, and I think it's pretty enjoyable. So let's check it out. So I may fall and die because I'm not amazing, but let's give it a shot. As some go up and down, some go right to left, and then later on I do a trick with some green ones in a minute. And these ones go at different speeds, so it's quite daunting to try to jump onto the other. And then over here, I got a little checkpoint because I'm not horrible. But as you see, I've put a lot of springs on the platform. So to get past, you need to constantly be bouncing on the moving platform, and then swap onto a different bouncing moving platform before you can carry on. And I've surrounded the entire area with blue pipes just so the player dies a little quicker. So yeah, that's where the level is at so far. If we go back to the inspector, we can see just how large the level is getting now, which is quite fun. These ones don't move. That's going to be introduced later. The moving ones get introduced right here when they start to move. And then the little jumping one. And if the player does use the jump pads to jump super high, they're just going to headbutt this blue wall and die. So it shouldn't be any cheese, I don't think. And there's no way to get a blue coloured character all the way over here, because you can't make that jump. So you wouldn't be able to stay blue. So yeah, that's how far it's come along so far. I'm going to start expanding here. I had another idea as well, to use these keys here and have coloured keys to coloured doors, and you have to maybe collect 3 keys to be able to get to the wizard's tower and then meet the guy, I guess, but I don't know yet. I'm going to go take another little break now, prepare some food, getting a little hungry. But I mean, I'm quite enjoying how far this is coming along so far. It's looking good. Alright, quick break, and we'll come back to it. Only about halfway through the jam as well, just about 23 hours left. I don't know, I have so much more I could do, but I don't know what to do anymore. I have to think about it whilst I eat. So for the last few hours, I've been working on the level design, and I've expanded it a little bit. So I thought I'd show you guys again. So it's getting harder now. Like I've definitely increased the skill curve, so I'll probably die a lot, but I'll make like a speed up or whatever is necessary, depending on how badly it goes. So where we left off with these spring moving platforms, I guess I should call them. I have this random spring here, just for no reason, just in case you wanted to jump the bridge. Doesn't do anything there. And then simple little turn. This here platform will just bring you down, really. You come along this way. You go inside of this little block here. Drops you into this little two-platform room. You can see this platform here that you're gonna go to later, but aren't quite there yet. Got glitched in there. Not completely bug-free just yet, but it will be by the time we publish. And then it wants you to go straight in here, so you drop down without touching the sides. And I like this area because it's got all three of the colors. And we get on this diagonal platform. Ooh, that was close. Get a checkpoint. And I have some more multicolored springs here. Which gets a little challenging. Just enough to like perfectly land you on there. And then for this one you need to time it and then do an actual bounce as well. You can skip that one if you want to. And then when you get up here, you do another bounce. It gets you to your checkpoint. So I decided to add a little motivation thing here, like, yeah, you're getting close to the end. Here's the wizard's magical white colored light. And it is actually very eye-catching because it's the first asset that isn't red, blue, or green. This was quite challenging. Oh, I've died here many times whilst testing to see if it was possible. But here we go, did it on my first try. And then we've got a moving green platform with a red spring. And that finishes it up where I've gotten to so far with the level design. But the level's now quite large. I'm going to add a few little more bits and then probably start wrapping it up. I'm still somewhat interested to do something with those keys maybe, but not 100% certain if or how I would really introduce those without, splitting paths or backtracking. Maybe an NPC could come up and be like, hey, you want to go to the wizard's tower? Find 3 keys, and then, I don't know, you probably still have to backtrack to it or find the wizard tower. I don't know. But I'll see. Still got some time left. I am currently preparing the final part of the level. I'd like to show you. So the plan is for the player's last checkpoint to spawn here. He's then forced to change to green to be able to make it here because he was red. And then he can travel through here and any color can walk on top of the white blocks. The first course of action, because he can't go up yet because he's green, he can't touch blue, is to come over here and jump on this spring and do a spring platform jump to get to this blue key. This will be a key. And you need 3 keys to the tower. I'll get for that in a minute. After collecting the key, he himself will also turn green, just like the gems. And then he'll have to jump on the sides of the platform and then to get back, jumping onto this white block, to this white block, to these white blocks, to this white block, until he gets onto this platform. He can come up here and then deposit the first key. These 2 doors will be red and green. After that, he is blue. And when he's blue, there'll be a red gem, or red key, sorry. No, red gem, actually, sorry. Right here. Regular red gem. And he'll have to make the jump from here, which is a 4-block jump, which is possible, just annoying, to get to this red gem. And then now he's red, so he has to jump up here and then go along here, dodging all of the green platforms. This isn't here. Until he gets over here, where the green key will be. He can then grab the green key and then has to spring jump all the way back to the tower. Didn't quite work this bit out. So I'll add some white on these platforms. That's the plan. So he can get down to this and then deposit the green key. Now that he's green, he can jump on this spring to go up onto the roof, and then onto this spring to get the red key. and then he has to jump down to here, and then over to here, and then over to here to deposit the last key. He has to do all of this on one life because the checkpoint will be there, and if he dies, all of the keys will respawn back. So that's the plan. Now just implement the keys and the doors, and then the game should be wrapping up. It's about 9:40, 9:30. It's going well. So it's gone quite late now, um, and I've been playing the game quite a lot and doing little bug fixes, and I've developed quite a bit more as well. So let's just see where we're leaving off for today. We've gotten to this point where I've created the Wizard's Tower, and you have to get the 3 keys of the different colors to be able to unlock the Wizard's Tower. After you get, like, say you got a key, you unlocked the door, the doors will change to become their colors of the different keys. Say you got the blue key and you unlock the blue door, and then you were to die, you'd respawn right over here, um, and the key will respawn as well, and the door will relock itself. After you've managed to successfully gather all 3 keys, you'll be able to enter the Wizard's Tower. Inside the Wizard's Tower, there's this little wizard I made using various different, oh, you can't see it, but various different assets from the Kenney Valley set just put on top of each other. And he's just like, that's a nasty curse you've got. Come over here and I'll heal you. Um, the level's gone quite long at this point, and tomorrow, gonna get the main menu done, and the actual ending of the game after you've gotten all the keys, being able to enter to see the wizard. And it seems like at this moment we should be on track to getting it all finished tomorrow and a nice upload. So I'm pretty happy about that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is now the last day of the jam. I've got about 6 hours left, just about, and I've just opened Unity for the first time this morning. I spent my morning along with breakfast trying to find some music for the game. I've decided to opt to get some free, like royalty-free music to put into the game instead of making it myself, as I want an 8-bit kind of music style for the game, and I have very little experience there with MIDI and 8-bit. So, um, and this will just save a little bit of time as well. So that's kind of the plan. I found a great little song that I'll play a little bit in the next montage, um, and I'll link it in the description as well. Let's get into this day then, I guess. I'm going to be working on the main menu first off this morning, getting some customized sound effects as well. So just like repitching the sound so it's not the same sound each time, there's a little difference in it. And giving the player the option to mute and control the volume on the main menu. That will then, impact the game as well. After that, it's just the final transition into the Wizard's Tower, and then an end screen. And I want the end screen to inform the player, like some basic stats of how many times you've died, and how long it took you to complete the game. And then after that, should be all done. So, I have just finished the main menu system, at least for now. So let's have a little look at that. It starts with this little loading bar, just to get the sound effects done. It'll be here for like 2 seconds. And as you can see, this is the music I was speaking of earlier. And you can adjust the sound by going to volume and just sliding this volume down or going back up. Same with sound effects when the game is open. You can then view the credits, just a little bit about credits, and play the game. As you can see, the jam is coming to a close now, and I've just finished making the end transition inside the Wizard's Tower. So let's swap over there and I'll take a look. Now that we're in Unity, it's just full screen here. I've set up a spawn point right next to the tower, and I moved the keys in front of the doors. Just make things easier for us. So let's open all of the doors, and then we enter into the wizard's tower. And you just simply walk over to him, and it will take you to an end screen. And my plan is to display to the player how long they played the game, and how many times they died playing the game. And that's what I'm currently working on. I think that this will be a nice little motivation for them to rate the game well, because if they make it to the end of the game, which I don't think many people will, then they're going to see like, oh, I played the game for like 40 minutes or something like that. It's like, wow, I should give them a good vote. That's the plan anyway. So the submission deadline is getting ever closer, and I've just finished that last mechanic where at the end of the game it will now tell the player how many times they've died and how long they took. So the game's at a point now where I think I'm ready to play it from the very beginning to the very end. See how long it takes me, how many times I died, and just kind of get a feel for the game. Try to find any last minute bugs that tend to happen a lot in game jams. So without further ado, let's jump in, and I'm going to record the playthrough from the very beginning to the very end. I'm going to start by turning down the volume and the sound effects. And let's jump in. I've also added this little volume menu here, so you can adjust the volume whilst in-game. Let's go. At this point in the game, I believe that there are about 13 to 14 different checkpoints. There's a lot more of them at the very beginning than there are at the end, because obviously, skill curve. We're also looking for bugs as we go through, like I said. Not like the spider there, but more just any problems that we might run into, because game jams can be like that a lot of the time. I've had a load of game jams where I've gotten right to the end and then there's just been a crushing bug. So let's hope we don't find anything like that. Or if we do, that we can resolve it quickly. So I've gotten quite good at my own game at this point. Like that green rock over there used to kill me a lot. Just regular 4-tile jumps did. But now I've gotten the hang of it. Obviously I've had to play my own game quite a lot for testing purposes. Oh, failed the jump. I think it's easier to jump onto it and then do the jump. It is. It's good to know. Oh, why did I do that? There we go, saved it. Over here, we've got obviously our moving platforms. And then right up here, we have the 2 moving platforms that just move at different speeds. Kind of throws off the player a little bit. See? Like that. Barely managed to save myself. That would have been my first death. Got our combined mechanics of our springy platforms. It's going well so far though. And I've implemented a little spring over here, just for fun, so the player can jump over the bridge if he wants to, or what have you. It kind of looks like these mushrooms as well, so it kind of fits the theme of the green area. There's this little platform here that will just bring the player down, or you can just jump off if you're impatient. I've got a little shortcut over here, if you're brave enough to do it. I'm not going to, but I'll show you it. Ooh, that was close, almost had to go all the way back. You can land right there, and then scale down. Just like when this platform comes over here, you can actually jump off of it and go down onto the platform. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, there we go, just like that. And now let's fall through here. Dang it. Oops. Okay, definitely racking up some deaths now. Not exactly where I expected to rack up some deaths, but oh well. Get the platform to come around. I'd like to move to the far right of this platform, because then it stops in like a perfect spot for you to fall down. There we go. Little spring jump. And just get on this platform before it moves. There we go. Now you need to touch the gem before obviously hitting the ground, otherwise you'll die there. And we've got some more spring jumps. I'm actually going to do a big jump on this one. Okay, maybe not. Let's just do a regular jump. There we go. Big quick spring jump onto this one. It's actually a really nice, satisfying jump from that spring though, because you land perfectly on the platform. Time it, and then oh, I missed. A little tricky. There we go. Gotta do another big jump here and make sure that you don't touch the gem. Otherwise, obviously you're gonna hit the green spring and die. And then one final big jump to get to the checkpoint. Made it to the first hint of the fourth color, being white. Ooh, just got flung into that brick. Let's try again. So the key with this bit is to just jump before the platform moves, like that. You have to time it correctly. There we go. That one's a little more forgiving. Then we've got one moving spring. There we go. So I probably make the game look a little easy, but when I first made these things, tried them for the first time, they were pretty horrible. So obviously I've had people playtest them, and I think the difficulty is where it should be. Alright. Spring over here to get the blue key. And now we're going to have to go back without touching the green. A little tip that I do is, not that. Or that. I'll show it this time. This time we'll make it. So I tend to die a lot here on the blue key, because it's quite tricky. It's very precise, your jumps. Because obviously you can only stand on these white sections. On your way back. Let's try again. A little thing that I do is just to skip this one. And just go straight over to this one here. And then do a big jump to get over here. And then big jump to get straight onto the platform. There we go. And with that we can deposit our first key. And then let's jump over here. Become red. Preferably not die. On the way to get the green key. Nice and careful. Slow and steady. There we go. Get our green key. Walk our way back with our little spring jumps. I think for 48 hours, just a little game jam. Like I haven't been going too ham, but I think this turned out quite well. Let's do our spring jumps over here to get to the red key. There we go. Leap of faith. Try not to hit the green springs on your way back. They're kind of your only problem on the way back, really. If I die on this spring, I'll be very upset. Oh, that's close. And then let's enter into the wizard tower. And then obviously he's like, I'm going to kill your curse. Just walk over to him. There we go. I died 7 times and it took me 6, or just about 7 minutes. That's not so bad. So, I think the game's ready to upload. So I'm going to make the itch.io page, build the game, and get it online. Nice.